right, me too. Hey, hey, hey!
Hey,
Hello,
hey,
hello, and welcome to the Natural to Natural podcast. Today's special guest is Chrishan Wright of Blaxit US. Hey, Chrishan, how are you?
I'm doing well, Samiko. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm so glad to have you here. So, before we get into your hair story, tell us a little bit about you so we can get to know you.
Sure. So I am, as you mentioned, the founder of Blaxit US. But aside from that, in my personal life, I am a mom of two. I have two beautiful children, Miles, who is 19, and Maya, who's almost 15. Professionally, I have had a career in digital marketing most recently, and I've traversed politics and television, but I feel like where I am now is where my heart always wanted to be.
Okay, and where is that?
Being an entrepreneur, coming up with ideas. I'm on this theme. I was trying to figure out, like, how do I put it into words? I feel like I'm at a point in my life where I'm most untethered. So it's a good place. It's definitely a good place.
Very nice. So, what do you think led you here? Like, how did you finally get to this place, which is such a great place?
A lot of introspection. I'm naturally an introvert. And so I decided, rather than some people see it as a deficit, I wanted to embrace it. And so I went on a journey, which probably is what is the impetus of creating Blaxit, to start traveling the world, to see the world outside the US's borders, to challenge my own perceptions. Of what I think my encounters would be as a Black woman traveling abroad. And what I discovered is that it opened up this heart space. And I found and continue to find out things about myself that amaze me, really.
Very nice. And so this is what led you to Blaxit US because
Yeah.
you want other people to experience that, or other people who may have thought about it and just wasn't sure about it. You're giving them that platform to give them the information that you didn't have to make it easy to transition into that, correct?
Yes, because I think as a person who's embraced travel, I love and I consider myself very curious. But being a tourist is very different from really where Blaxit is, which is enabling and empowering Black Americans to pursue a life abroad. That may be a long-term stay, or it might be, in my case, what I hope to be is a permanent stay. But knowing that my particular Blaxit isn't until 2023, I thought it would be interesting to share my journey and transformation, and also to help inspire and inform other people that are interested in doing the same.
Very nice. So we'll share your information later on so people know where to find you. But let's get into why you're really here. That hair story, yes. So interesting enough, Krishan was one of my clients when I had Miko New York Salon, her and her baby girl Maya, right?
Yes.
Maya has all this long, beautiful, soft, a lot of hair,
Yes.
totally different texture than your hair, right?
Mhm.
But when
Yes.
you came in, you were transitioning. Remember?
Mhm.
You were
Yes.
transitioning. And so you had this long, relaxed hair, right? It was like
Mhm.
literally down your back,
Yes.
super thick. And
Mhm.
it was like, all right, what am I doing? I need to transition. I need help. And
Yes.
so you end up coming to the salon, and it was such a great experience to be able to go on that journey with you. So now,
Mhm.
how long have you been natural? How long have you been natural
Mm.
now?
So I stopped relaxing my hair in February of 2016, and that was largely because I had gotten into a routine. And as you mentioned, I've always had long, thick hair, and I was going to a Dominican salon for a number of years. I had a stylist there. I started going every other week to going to every week. and really noticed that my hair had changed. So from being long and thick as it had been my whole life to her discovering a bald spot, which I nearly died in the chair. And so I was like, and she like put my hand up to where it was, and I just feel this like, I guess maybe the size of a quarter hole in my head, and I just was sick, and I made that decision at that point in time that that was going to be my last relaxer, and I was breaking up from the creamy crack.
The creamy crack. Now, was it challenging? Was it hard to make the decision? Did you like kind of battle with it and go back and forth, or was it easy? How was that experience?
It was challenging. So it was challenging on a number of levels. So I'll go back a little bit. This wasn't my first time going natural, right? So as a youth, always had long, thick hair. Made the decision when I was 13. I asked my mother. I wanted a relaxer. That was more of the trend, if you will, back in the 90s, late 80s, early 90s.
And she let
So
you relax your hair when you asked her?
yeah, I went to a professional. I'd always gotten my hair, and it's interesting uh, because I've always had long, thick hair. Since I was probably about 4, my mom had been taking me to a salon. So I used to go
Okay.
to a salon in Harlem, and my stylist, Pauline, would do my hair. And everybody, as soon as I came in, and I remember going to get the phone books and propping them up in the chair so that I could climb up into her chair. And it would be like this all day process. And people would look at me, oh my gosh, she has so much hair. And that was like my early years. And then my mom would do it on her own at home, but then I'd always have the burn from the
Oh, the back.
person
Oh, yes, I remember.
in the ear. So, I've had a journey, but when I got to be 13, 14, as most 14-year-olds or
Teenage years.
13-year-olds, right?
Yeah.
Teenage years, you start to be rebellious, you want to challenge authority. So it was just like, I had enough of you doing my hair. I want to be relaxed. And so I had my hair relaxed. I went to, my cousin was going to a stylist, I believe it was somewhere in the Bronx, and I started going there. So when I got to college, fast forward, and I went to college in upstate New York, there were not a lot
But
of black hairstylists in Albany, New York. So
your
I
stylist let
was
you do your hair, all that thick hair.
no, they hadn't seen me coming. So they weren't ready for all of this. So I was just like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And, people started with like, what's going on with your hair? I tried doing it myself, wrong move. And we didn't have what we have today, what kids have today, right? YouTube and,
Right.
people that are professional stylists,
Right.
that real specialists, I should say,
Right.
because in my opinion, there's a difference between a stylist. A stylist is going to put your hair in a style that you can leave the salon and walk out the chair, but a
Absolutely.
specialist is going to teach you the methods that you need to do to focus on your hair, preserving your hair, growing your hair, etc.
Absolutely.
So I went to a stylist and was working with them for a bit. And then I got to another stage in my adolescence, late adolescence, and I decided to cut my hair. It was still relaxed at that point. And that was like my first, I guess, act of hair defiance,
Okay.
was going from long hair that everyone knew me for to short hair. And it wasn't until after I became a mom after grad school that I did my first big chop
Oh, wow.
and just whoop.
Now
And
it was
then
like big chop, like all off big
yeah,
chop, or you
it
grew
was
it
it
out?
was all gone.
Oh, wow. How
And
did people react to that? Because I mean, you went from all this hair down your back to no hair at all. Like, what was
no
the response
hair.
that you got from people?
What are you, crazy?
Something's wrong with you, right?
Yeah, and I was called, which was weird. I would get called sir often.
Are you
So for
serious?
people that didn't know me, they would see me, which I
With
was,
all of that, you were called to
yeah,
sir?
I'm like, I'm a medium frame, very large, busted woman. And I'm
Right.
like, can you not tell that I'm a female? So that was weird for me. And so, my hair grows very fast and my hair is very thick. So it grew out. And as it was growing out, I made the decision to have it locked. So
Okay.
when I did big chop, I transitioned to wearing my hair locked. I was in television for a couple of years, working at a news station in Albany and behind the scenes. And then there was a point in which I transitioned to be on camera as a traffic reporter. And my big thing was I'm okay with being on TV, not really, but I did not want to put on a wig. I did not want to change who I am. So I went on as me.
So how did
And
they
so
accept that? Because that's when it wasn't too popular. Being natural and wearing locks were not popular at that time. So
yeah,
how were you accepted in that, in that area doing that?
it was different. It wasn't I didn't get any, or at least that I didn't see. I didn't get negative emails. No one told me at the station, there's a problem. Remember, this is upstate New York, Albany. Actually, I would get stopped very often by people, and when I was going out in the community, going to the supermarket, going to different events. Oh my gosh, I saw you on TV, and you're doing so
Oh,
great, picking up my kids or my son at the time because I didn't have my daughter, and so it was very comforting,
oh,
actually.
nice.
And then I kept my locks for a number of years until I had my daughter. So I guess maybe like 4 years I had them. And so she was 3 weeks old. And at the time I was, my hair was very long. And I was trying to figure out, okay, I have a 5-year old, I have a newborn, and I have my hair, which was my third child.
Something has to give.
And I said, no, right? 3 weeks postpartum, I'm like, dealing with two different human beings that I need to be responsible for. And so the hair had to go. So I remember being in the bathroom, and I had a big garbage bag, and I just started cutting off
You
all
chopped it
that.
off yourself?
Oh yeah.
Wow. Wait, so did you chop it off to get rid of them or just to cut them shorter so they were less to manage?
I didn't want anything to manage. I wanted to focus on
The
my
babies.
children
Right.
and the time. And so at that point, even just retwisting my hair to relock it was taking about 4 to 5 hours. And so I just couldn't figure out how best to manage with an infant and I guess
5-year old.
5-year old, right?
Right.
Kindergartner, how to do that effectively. So I made the decision to cut off my hair, and I kept my hair short. And then eventually I went to a texturizer. And then from there, because I was a stay-at-home mom for a number of years, I made the decision to go back into the workforce, and I became a lobbyist. And in my mind, and that's where don't want to take it too far in a different direction, but conditioning can come into your head. So I didn't feel that I could go into that environment um, with my hair the way it was. And so I made the decision, again, still I own the decision, no one told me to do it,
Okay.
to relax my hair again. And I remember sitting in the stylist chair and crying my eyes out.
Oh, while you were
And
getting it relaxed?
yeah, because it was just such an
Wow.
emotional, traumatic decision. And
Wow.
so I did it, and I grew my hair out and quickly, it was long, and maintained that until this most recent one in 2016. So that's the long part of the hair
Wow.
journey.
So you've been natural for 4 years now,
Yes,
right? And
yes.
there is no going back because you're an entrepreneur now, right? So you don't have to
Mm,
feel like you have to conform to
no,
anyone or anything. So
no.
tell me, Krishan, what do you love most about your hair?
I love learning about it. It
Okay.
it speaks to me. It really it's similar to how it was when my relationship with my hair, when I realized I had the two children in my hair. But now being that much older and knowing myself more, I'm really paying more attention to my hair as a part of who I am, and knowing that it has needs. And so when I don't drink enough water, my hair will let me know. When it's too humid outside and it's not in a protective style, my hair will let me know. It'll respond. So I'm being more in touch with understanding how my hair feels, how it responds to different products, how it responds to me not being as attentive to it at times.
It'll let you know.
Let me
It's like
know.
a child. It needs attention. It's
Exactly.
gonna let you
So
know.
I have to embrace that and be better. But I think right now where I am is, I think in the beginning it was really a lot of, like most naturals, a lot of trial and error, looking at pictures or videos and making assumptions that because a person may have my same
Similar texture,
complexion
right?
or appears to have the same hair texture, that what
Hmm.
they use will work for me. And that's not the case. I had to start to educate myself about porosity, different hair types, and different styles, and then trying to master those. Because again, I've been since 4 years old going to someone else to do my hair versus being empowered to do my hair and know how to braid and cornrow,
Right.
etc. And so when I became a mom and had a daughter who has hair in the sense like mine, long and thick, but
Hmm.
different texture because she's multi-ethnic, I had to learn and figure out how best to care for her hair and also empower her to start to do her hair. So now I don't have to do anything. Miss Maya
But
is
the
on her own.
right. But the beautiful thing is that you had to learn how to embrace yours first before you can teach her, because she needed to see that example of what it looks like of embracing and taking care of her hair. And you touched on so many great points, Sean, with really learning and owning our hair, looking for others to define our hair or to take care of our hair for us. So not getting to know our own hair, but then, like you said, just kind of listening to your hair, like paying attention to what your hair is telling you. Because a lot of times we ignore it, but then we don't know why isn't something working for us, because
Mhm.
we're not listening. It's like not listening to your body, right? When your body
Exactly.
tells you what it needs, and we could either ignore it, we'll get the symptoms and we'll get the signs, or we'll ignore it, and we'll do something about it, or we ignore it and then it gets worse and worse and worse. So I mean, you've touched on so many great points, and it's so great to hear where you are right now with really knowing your hair and understanding your hair. So you did mention, or tell me, what challenge you might currently have with your hair that you would like me to kind of help with or address, if there's
Yeah.
any, because you might be like, look, Smiko, I got this, right? But I
No,
think
I
we're
am an
all
extreme learner.
but I think we're all still, like, sometimes just in life we might get one thing, we might overcome one challenge, but then there's another challenge, right? So where are you, like, what challenge would you say that you have right now with your hair, if any?
I would say the biggest thing, I don't know if it's a struggle, but what I'd love to learn more about is how to enable my hair to retain moisture. So I have a pretty solid routine. Some things that I do more of, like, or things that I've cut out, not because they weren't working for me, but just from a time commitment perspective. I've gone away from. So I used to pre-poo, especially when I had some missteps in the early stages. But where I am now, my hair, when I pull it down, is actually like my mid back.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty
Don't you
long.
just love our hair?
Yes, yes. I love how it deceives people. It's like, I know how long it
What,
is.
mid back?
You don't have to know how long it is. Although I'm planning on blowing it out this weekend because I need a trim bad. And so I was doing my hair and I'm like, ooh, these ends are feeling a little snaggy. And then I realized it probably has been 7 months since I did a trim. So this
Okay.
weekend I will probably blow it out. But yeah, when I pull it down, it just it goes.
Nice. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So now let me
So
ask you, so what is your current routine for your hair?
sure. So I don't pre-poo it, which is what I used to do, and I did that for a number of years, or well, a little over a year, I should say. But now, what I do is I get up in the morning, I shampoo, and I use a moisturizing shampoo, which I found has worked so well for my hair. It
Okay.
responds really well. I rinse that out. I use a detangler. And then for the first time last week, is I am still in the process of like cocktailing a little, introducing products from time to time where I may change like one thing. So this way I can kind of eliminate if my hair
Right.
doesn't respond the same way, I can identify what it is. And so I was in need of a new conditioner, and I tried Taraji P. Henson's Make It Rain.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, the joy. It,
Really? It's like it's raining on your head. It's like
it
it's raining on
was,
your head.
it was, it is everything.
What so
I,
what makes it everything? What about the product do you like?
oh my gosh, it was the slip,
Okay.
the instant response to my hair, like the curls just really popped. I felt it instantaneously. And I used and tried a number of products. And I actually shot a video after I was out of the shower, but it was a little,
So now
I
this was
wasn't
a
quite
leave-in
ready.
conditioner? Was this a you said this was a leave-in conditioner?
This is a conditioner, and then I used it as a deep conditioner. So I worked it in my hair, and then what I usually do is I just tie it in these like buns, and then I put a cap on, and I sit under the dryer for 30 minutes, and then I rinse it out. And then after that, I put Melanin Hair Care's oil in my
Okay.
hair. I rinse that out. Usually in between those two steps, I probably forgot that I do an apple cider vinegar homemade rinse. And then I
Okay.
put the oil, get out the shower, and then I start doing my LOC method.
Okay.
Not
Okay.
LCO for me, LOC.
You said LLC?
Well, yeah. Well, actually, you know what? I am more, yeah, I do liquid, right? So
Okay.
I spray my hair with water. I put a
So now
cream.
you do okay, so let me just repeat this back to you because I know you said one is to retain moisture. So you said that do you know the porosity of your hair?
I consider myself to be low porosity. It takes
So
a
low porosity
long
meaning
time.
the cuticles are shut, right? That means
Yeah,
the cuticle layers are shut.
I need
So
heat.
in low porosity, you need heat to open up the
Mhm.
cuticles. You also need products that are high in alkaline because alkaline actually swells open the cuticle layers.
Mm.
And so it's very hard to know because the products, unlike food, well, food will tell you you know if food is acidic or it's alkaline. It's hard to tell if the product is alkaline because there's no label on there to let us know that, but your hair will let you know. So
Mhm.
if your hair, if the product is acidic, you'll feel the cuticles layer closing. You know how when you go and you get a steam, right, on
Yeah.
your face and it opens up, you can feel the cuticle, the pores opening up on your face, right? The
Mhm.
cuticle steam does the same thing for the hair. So when you put product that lifts up the cuticle layers, it's going to feel a little rough. And when you put
Mhm.
products that seals or close the cuticle, it's going to feel a lot smoother. So that's probably why when you put the conditioner on, you get that slick, smooth feel. It's
Mhm.
probably slightly acidic, and that's why you get that slip to it, right?
Mhm.
Also, when you shampoo your hair, right, you use warm water to open up the cuticle because you want to get rid of all of the debris and everything. And then when you use cold water, it actually seals those cuticles shut. So if you have low porosity, then you want to leave the cuticles open for as long as possible to get that moisture into your hair, right?
Got
So you don't want to use cool water when you're sealing your hair when you're rinsing out the conditioner. You want
Mm.
to use like lukewarm water. So everything you do, you want to keep that cuticle open for as long as possible so that that product can get in to maintain the moisture. When you put apple cider vinegar on your hair, you're actually shutting your cuticle. And if you have
Oh,
low porosity hair, you don't want to do that.
oh, well, guess what's not going to be in this
Yeah,
again? So,
because if you're shutting the cuticles and you want to get moisture in, it's not going to get in, right? And
interesting.
if you have low porosity, the cuticles are going to close on their own because it just
Yeah,
naturally is going to shut. So for
exactly.
you, you want to try to keep it open for as long as possible, right? Because
Okay.
when you put those products and those oils on, oils are going to fill in those cuticle layers until it closes. So don't
Mm.
worry about that. So try to stay away from acidic products like apple cider vinegar.
Okay. Thank
Okay?
you for that. That's
You're
huge. You're doing the wrong thing.
Right. You hear, I mean,
Really.
it's good for apple cider vinegar is great, just not for low porosity hair, right? Because
Got
it's going to seal the cuticle. Now, if your hair was high porosity, it would be wonderful for your hair because high porosity, the cuticle layers is always up, but you want to
it.
shut them. So that's when you would use a product like apple or an ingredient like apple cider vinegar. Okay.
Got it.
So
Sweet.
try that and see how that works. And you should definitely see a difference. Okay.
Yes.
All
Thank
right.
you.
You're
That was
welcome. You are so welcome. And so now, okay, so you said you don't do a pre-poo, but you do a shampoo, a moisturizing shampoo. You
mhm.
do a regular conditioner and a deep conditioning treatment with
Yeah.
the regular, and you said you put a plastic cap over that. Are
Yes.
you doing that in a shower?
No, I have a hooded dryer.
Okay, so you're going to, that's perfect because then the heat will
Mhm.
open up the cuticle. So then you're rinsing that out with warm
Mhm.
water, right? And
Yes.
now it's time to put your moisturizer and your leave-in conditioner on. So no apple cider vinegar. You're going to do the leave-in
Taking that
conditioner, the
out.
liquid, right? You're going to do the liquid conditioner, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
then you put an oil on top of that or a cream.
So I have a leave-in conditioner that I use that I love on my hair, and then I use Melanin Hair Care's cream, and
Okay.
then I put an oil on top of that, and then I wear my hair mostly in a twist.
Okay.
I find that just to be easier for me to maintain, and also still need to learn some new styles.
Okay. Look, you like you said, you have to go with what works best for you, right?
Yes.
Although we look at other things and it might be beautiful, but time-wise and convenience and hair
Mhm.
texture, all those things play a part into what's going to work best for you. And so
Yes.
we can look at other people and admire, but it just may not be what's good for us. And so learning to embrace your hair looks absolutely gorgeous, right?
Thank
The
you.
shape and everything, it's healthy, it's full. So just embracing that and then using accessories if you wanted to change the look up a little, just
Mhm.
using accessories, right? To give it
Mm.
a different look to make it look fancier. Now, what type of oils are you using? Because that will make a difference too with helping to maintain the moisture in your hair. Are you using a penetrative oil or are you using a sealant oil?
I use the Melanin Hair Care multi-purpose oil. It's really the only one that I use regularly.
Do you know
Um,
what's in it?
ooh, I forget all the ingredients in it, and I think it's jojoba oil is in it. It's a non-greasy formula because
Okay.
I also sometimes I will substitute it. I have my hair tends to like sweet almond oil, so I have
Okay.
a huge jar of that, bottle of that, and then I also have avocado oil, which I'll use if I'm doing a pre-poo.
Okay.
So my hair tends to really respond to those. I'm not sure if
Do you
those are
know why? Because those are great sealant oils, and sealant
oh
oils will
that
help. Yeah,
no
right,
because
right.
when I
Avocado
was
oil is a great sealant oil. So when you put it on after all of that, it's going to now seal all that good stuff that you put on in, and it's going to lock it in to keep your hair feeling moisturized. Penetrative oils are lighter oils. So if you put lighter oils on your hair, eventually they're going to absorb into the hair and then it's going to leave the hair feeling dry again. But if you use heavier oils, and so you can use that. And then again, a lot of times people feel like if I oil my hair like once or twice, and it feels dry, then don't oil it again. But I tell people, or moisturize it again, rather. When your hands are dry, let's say you put lotion on your hands, right? And let's say by midday your hands are dry. What are you going to do?
put more
Exactly.
yeah.
But people feel like, oh, well, I just did it,
Mm,
yesterday, so I shouldn't have to do it again today. But if
yeah,
your hair is telling you you need it,
yeah,
listen to your hair. Just don't
exactly.
overdo it, right?
Mhm.
But it's the same thing because if you put a whole bunch of lotion on your hand, it's just going to sit on your hand. So you're just going to put as much as you need. You're going to work it into your hands until your hands feel moisturized. And then when you need it again, you'll put it on again. So same concept with your hair. Your hair will tell you when you need it. Listen to it and give it just enough what it needs, and then you should be good.
That's great. It's a great analogy because I hadn't even thought of it that way, as you would like lotion. It makes
Right.
total sense.
Because it's the same thing. You're doing the same thing to your hair. You're just
Yeah,
lotioning up your hair, right? Yeah.
exactly.
So I like to use analogies like that because you could relate to that you
Yeah.
can visualize. And so
Mhm.
now it's just, you just make it applicable to, to your hair.
You're
So good.
good.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, Chrishan, it has been such a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for joining our show today. I want you to tell our listeners again where they can find you. All right. Give us the information about your company and where they can find you. Okay.
Sure. It is https www.blaxitus.com. We also have a Facebook community, which is Blaxit US. And then I also have a special treat for your viewers and listeners today, and you will find that in the link when
The
Samiko puts
comment
in the
section. Yeah.
comment section.
Yes. Yes. Yay. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. This has been so transformative. I had so many aha moments about my hair. So this is fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you. And then we got to learn a little bit about you, and we got to learn about your hair. And I'm quite sure there are so many women out there that could relate to what you've gone through on your journey and would appreciate your story. So thank you so much for sharing your hair story with us.
No,
Okay?
thank you. Thank you
All right.
for having this platform. This is really an honor.
Thank you. All right, Krishan. Bye.
Bye.